While anti-gay Kentucky clerk Kim Davis is now in jail, her supporters are taking her place, and they are making clear that she is not going to back down despite her now incarceration. The biggest supporter, perhaps, is her current husband of this week, Joe Davis. And he is perhaps even more outspoken than she is. Let's watch.
My son will not sell. Bunning cannot bully me, my wife, or my son. She's there to prove to them that we're not going to bend and bow for nobody. I taught my son how to stand up for what's right and what he believes in at any cost. This is what we believe in. This is what we stand for. Bunning don't know how to pick on somebody that can handle him. The only thing he does is pick on the weak people.
No matter how long she stays there?
Don't matter how long. I would defy him. I defy our government. We have no government in the United States no more.
Okay.
There was one last comment by him. We're not joking. This is literally what he said. Talking about the judge, tell Judge Bunning he's a butt.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't make that up.
That even trumps Trump.
That
It really does.
Yeah. That's better than dum-dum.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I did hear, though, because of her strong religious views, that the jailers allowed her one phone call to each of her 4 husbands.
That was nice of them.
All right, so listen, we make fun, and, you know, I'm going to do my southern accent. They're from Kentucky. I don't know if that counts. But out here, they know about going to back us down. All right. So all that stuff, but okay.
That's exactly how they sound.
That's right. I mean, you heard it. You heard it. I'm not making it up.
I couldn't see the top of his head because it was camouflaged.
Yeah, that hat
I just
really
saw him
took
out.
me by surprise. I mean, really a hunting cap. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, but look, the bottom line is they're the ones that are wrong. So that's why we make fun. If they were the ones, as he put it, that are the weak, that the judge is picking on, right, then we'd be on their side. But they're the ones trying to enforce their views on other people. We're not saying to them, you have to get gay married. We didn't tell Joe over here, like, hey, find the nearest dude and get married to him. Well, I can't do that. That's fair. Then I'm on your side, right? But if you say, hey, you two guys, I'm going to get into your lives and tell you don't have the same rights as I do, but we're strong. No. I mean, that's not standing strong for conscience. That's interfering in other people's lives.
Yes. The difference between what she's doing and what they're pretending she's doing is this. They're pretending she's standing up for her religious liberty. She's being persecuted. But what's actually happening is she's being persecuted or put in jail because she's trying to force her religion on everyone else. Nobody's trying to force anything on her. She's trying to force her own political or own religious beliefs inside of a political institution. She shouldn't be doing that. That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, and the pretending goes, I mean, it's even a bit more meta. It's that he is doing what Fox News has told him to do and led him to believe, and it's the idea that Christians at large are being assaulted in a significant way, that they are being marginalized, victimized, when really all we want is for them to act like every other religion has had to act in American history. That they believe what they believe, they do what they do, but they can't enforce it on other people. That's not some special designation, some subclass we want to make out of Christians. That's how American Buddhists act. That's how American Muslims act. So they don't get to dictate what other people do day to day.
When she went to file for her 3rd divorce, what if I've never filed for divorce. Doesn't a clerk have to sign off on that or something? What if the clerk was like, I'm against divorce. I'm not going to sign up. You can't get divorced. You have to stay married.
In fact, the clerk would have the same exact biblical grounds to say that they're against divorce as they are against gay marriage.
And that's not crazy. A lot of Christians still believe that.
Yeah. And so they say this isn't about gays. Of course, that's ridiculous. He said, Joe here said, welcome to Sodom and Gomorrah. Or he said, welcome to Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay. So, Sodom and Gomorrah references obviously to gay people, and you didn't stop people eating shrimp from getting marriage licenses. You didn't stop divorced people from getting remarried. You only did it against gays and lesbians. So don't pretend you're the victim. You're only a victim in your own mind because you don't get to bully other people anymore. Well, that's a sad day for you. And he says of the governor, Bashir, he says, you ain't no governor because you have no backbone, right? But wait, he just doesn't agree with you. It's like saying to me, like, oh, you have no backbone, that's why you're backing down. I'm not backing down. I disagree with you. I'm not backing down at all. The governor disagrees with you. George W. Bush appointee disagrees with you. That's Bunning. He's not a liberal. He's a very conservative judge that disagrees with you. The Supreme Court disagrees with you. They're chock full of conservatives, right? So we're not backing down. We have a backbone. You just don't like it because you're bigoted.
Obviously, her husband is going to support her. He's her guy, but she also has politicians lining up. One of her guys right now. She has Republican presidential candidates also lining up behind her. We've got a few. We're going to start off though with Rick Santorum.
When a president acts unconstitutionally, the court can slap down the president. What happens if the Supreme Court acts unconstitutionally? Who gets the opportunity to challenge them?
Do you think it's Kim Davis? Do you think it's a county clerk in Rowan County, Kentucky?
I would agree that what Kim Davis did, in my opinion, was heroic, and she suffered the consequences from it. She was obviously, I think the putting her in jail is ridiculous as an extreme position. But you know what? That's sometimes what it takes for people who stand up and conduct civil disobedience because the law is unjust.
Well, look, I have answers to what he's saying. He's like, okay, what happens when the Supreme Court acts unconstitutionally? Well, they're supposed to determine what's constitutional. That there are a lot of their decisions which I can't stand, which I think has nearly destroyed this country. Citizens United being a huge one, right? So I don't get to go around arresting Rick Santorum and all the other Republicans for taking bribes. I think they took bribes. I think that all the political campaign donations are bribes, right? But I can't. Okay, that's it. Rick, come on, Rick. I got this. Let's go. You're off. You go, right? No, I have to abide by what the Supreme Court says. So how do I address that? Well, you pass an amendment. That's the way the system works. So it's super hard. We know we're trying to pass an amendment to get money out of politics. It's wolf-back.com. Join us, okay? But that's what you do. You don't just all of a sudden stop doing your job if you're a government official because you kind of disagreed with the Supreme Court. That's not how it works.
It seems like a really unpleasant job for her. Mm-hmm. If that's what the job calls for, why doesn't she just go get another? You have so much liberty outside of that office to be as religious as you want in so many places. You can even start your own religion and probably get a tax exemption. Yeah. You can have your liberty anywhere, all over the place. You can just put your liberty and spray it all over the place. And no one is saying. I mean, to me, it's like such a glass half full, half empty. She's just only focused on this one little part of her office, and I know it's her job and her career, but that's just, the law is the law. And I think the rest of it is theater. I think we have these candidates who are using this just to rally the base again for wherever, in Iowa or other places, and they know better. The law is the law. Otherwise, so then I don't know what exemption she's supposed to get. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't think anyone's crying out for an exemption for, say, Hillary Clinton if they find that she did, let's say, traffic in classified emails. No one's saying there should be an exemption there. She was tired. She's flying. It's very exhausting being Secretary of State. I don't know, you get into this gray area of exemptions, it's just so hypocritical.
Well, now, when you're a public official, correct me if I'm wrong, but whenever I see a senator sworn in or they always have to swear in on the Bible, and they swear to uphold the laws of the United States Constitution. So doesn't a public official, don't they all, I mean, maybe they don't all have a ceremony, but isn't that their job? They are swearing to uphold the laws and the Constitution of the United States. So the Supreme Court says, this is what the Constitution says. She says, well, that thing I said about upholding it just sometimes. Sometimes if I feel like it, sometimes if it lines up with a book that was written 2,000 years ago in another country, and then it was translated 4 or 5 different languages down. That's what I'm talking about.